Why, hello there, everyone, and welcome back to Summoner's War. My name is Evan, and I'm here today with OnceInLuv. What's going on, Tyler?
What's going on, guys? Good to see you. Hello, happy Wednesday. It's rare I come on a Wednesday stream.
Yeah.
It's also rare that I'm here for like...
Yeah, because you're actually present.
I'm physically looking.
Like, there's no barrier between us today. OnceInLuv is in the office with us streaming, and we're going to be doing some account reviews and progression tips. But before we get too deep into that, let's say hi to some folks in the chat. I see Cam the Goat Kung over on YouTube is here for the first time. Welcome. This is a cool one for you to join in on, dude.
What's going on, everybody? Hello, hello, friends. Good to see you. New people, people we know have known for a long time. Hope you guys are having a wonderful midweek.
Pineapple Pizza Hot Pocket says, "Yo, what up, Tyler?" That's not a
PPHP.
real. Is that a real variety of Hot Pocket?
I have no idea.
Because that's kind of
honestly, Evan, I've never had a Hot Pocket.
Oh, really? We'll get one in you before you leave today because we got some in the fridge, I think. I also see Dr. Delight and Brave Smart. Welcome, everybody. What's up, Rogue Elf Chick?
Did you know what Pineapple Pizza Hot Pocket's original Twitch name was?
No, what was it?
Vigor was my first 2A.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I thought that was great.
That's a nice choice.
It just fit, you know?
The Blaze Fox. Well, guys, so like I said, we're going to be doing account reviews and progression tips. If you haven't done this before, you're going to want to hop into chat channel number 7. That's where we're going to start our adventure today. We're on the global server currently. When you message us, tell us what you need help with, and also leave your Twitch or YouTube handle wherever you're watching us because it makes it easier for us to address who we're speaking to.
Yeah. Also, one more thing with asking for advice, and this applies not just here in this stream with Evan and I, but in general when you're asking content creators. Your best bet is to say, to give context, right? So a lot of people will be like, oh, I need an account review, and they don't give any context. Or, hey, I don't have a working Dragons team, and there's no context, right? If you say like, hey, I just built a Chikaru team, it's not working. I'm not sure why. My towers are maxed, my towers aren't maxed. Like, giving that context means that whatever person is addressing your issue will be able to help you more efficiently, right? So if you came to me, Evan, you're like, hey, I'm trying to get into Dragons, not really sure what to do. I got this Chikaru thing, but like it's just not working for me. And then I have to ask 3 more questions and say, do you have max towers?
Right.
Do you have any determination runes? Are they all 2A? You know, I have to ask all these questions. So if you can give us as much context as possible in your request for advice, it'll make everything way smoother, way easier. We can help more of you guys today. That's a super good insight, actually. That'll help us kind of be the detectives we need to be. We can figure out all the usual suspects. We can figure out where we need to start the investigation. Pickle Sharky, how's it going, all you good-looking slices? Pickle here, and welcome back. I have no idea what I'm doing, Summoner's War Edition. We got you, dude. Pickle, we can How to
totally
summon LD5?
Dude, that's so funny. I was gonna open the stream by saying you're not allowed to ask Tyler how to summon an LD5. If you have any questions about that, you direct it to me.
So at the meetup, I summoned 130 something LDs. So now I'm at 941 LDs with no nat 5.
Wow, dude, that's pretty deep, Tyler.
We're getting
pretty
there.
Deep, dude.
One day, chat. One day we'll get there.
King Midas. The answer is it's all in the wrist. It's all in the wrist, dude. That's all really right. It is.
Let's jump in and find somebody. So you go first. We'll take turns.
Sounds great to me. Let's see. I need help making a safe team for DB12 and NB12.
T Caspers?
Yeah, T Caspers.
Whoa, dude. T Caspers has a Nef these. All right, next.
It's like you don't get help, you don't need help. You'll be fine. Let's see what you got going on right now before we go in. So it looks like for DB, you're using Verdlorn, Spectra, Tyron, and Varamos as well, which is Tyron's kind of a fun option. You got a lot of slows, so you can reduce the towers. But it's probably not fast. I see 331 is exactly what we're looking at right now. And then we can definitely help you with NB12. Let's go on in.
So I'm seeing that you have Chikaru like on the way. I'm seeing the 5-star dogs. They're not quite there yet. Depending on what your towers are, you're probably gonna need more defense. But the first thing is, I don't think you want to force the revenge runes. You really need to make sure you're using 6-star defense runes on your slot 2, 4, and 6. For anyone who's working on building Chikaru, the most important thing is that you can utilize 3 to 6 determination sets really easily. So if you go farm determination sets, they don't even have to be like, they can be blue runes, right?
Yes.
So your slot 1 can have defense %. So a slot 1 is a free determination rune slot. And then your 2, 4, and 6 only need defense % main. So you can run up to 6 sets in total on your team to minimize the amount of total defense that you need. If you guys are wondering how much it is if you have a max tower, Max tower and a max guild bonus. The plus defense that you need with 0 determination sets is plus 2,381. However, if you have 3 or 6 sets, it comes all the way down to like 2,200 and even like 2,060, I think.
Yes. Yeah, so, and that's why when we started doing the trickaroo thing, we also recommended running the Fire Gargoyle if you're really having a hard time with it, because you can just shove a whole bunch of determination runes on him. As long as he's moving the fastest, he'll remove himself from combat as soon as he takes his turn. He's just sitting there contributing defense to the rest of the team. So with that in mind, so you can totally look forward to using the trickaroo team in a little bit once you have them 6-starred and everything. Oh, Brian, thank you so much for asking. How's RTA going? RTA is actually going pretty well, although the Woosas out there are procking today. That's what I told Tyler right before
I'll get Evan with the private coaching, guys, don't worry.
Yes, thank you. That's what we'll do. That'll be the second segment of the stream where we help Evan progress to further myself into the Conqueror levels.
So something worth mentioning for your current team. So we saw that he had the Verd, Lauren.
It was Verd, Lauren, Spectra, Veramos, and Tyron.
So my suggestion would be, instead of using Lauren, consider using Elsharian. Elsharian's a more reliable stripper for dragons, and it makes it a little bit easier to keep the immunity off of the boss, and it gives immunity to your team. So in some cases, you might not even need to run Veramos. You could run another healer, like you could run Bella for the extra defense break and the heals. That would make your team a little bit safer. But otherwise, I think you got a pretty good base. I mean, Verd, AoE slow debuff, strip, and then a heal is pretty solid.
Yes, that is. So I totally agree with what Tyler's saying right now, because Lauren's awesome for a lot of reasons, but she kind of has a semi-inconsistent second skill. And you're going to learn that as soon as you put her on 300 speed in RTA and you bank on winning the game with her moving first. Like, she's kind of inconsistent.
And because she's a damage dealing stripper, she actually uses it regardless of if the enemy has buffs. She uses it because it debuffs.
Exactly. Well, that's it. That's the key. So if you're running Lauren, sometimes you want to run a backup too. So it's like, if I was to do something too, there's nothing wrong with running both Elsha and Lauren.
Yeah, and you could drop your Veramos in that case.
Exactly. Drop the Vero, Lauren, Elsharion. You could do Fran, Verd, and then like a big damage dealer like Sig or Crow. And if you guys want any more details on like a starter Dragons team, if you're on Twitch, you can use command DB, that's Dragons B. You can type that in, and if you're on YouTube, you can actually just find the video. We have a starter guide for it that we made in 2021 with a bunch of different team options for regardless where you're starting. Also, what's up, Surin? Thank you so much for joining, dude.
Oh, hello, Surin.
Happy to see you, Surin.
So they mentioned they wanted a Necro team as well. I think starting a Necro team is really easy with twins. Fran, Shaina, Sabrina, and Talia, and then your last unit can be anything. If you need more defensive nature, you can run a defensive healer. If not, you can run another offensive multi-hitter.
Oh, look at this. They got some twins right here. I don't see Shaina though. Let me see if they got a Shaina. If not, there's Shaina. So you have the makings for a super easy Necro team there.
Yep.
Otherwise, you can kind of do the super starter team where you just ruin your Fran and your Lauren, so they're really, really fast. They both hit 3 times on their first skill, knock out most of the hits on the boss's shield. Yeah. Then you run Rauk, Crow damage, you know.
Yeah. You can run twins and Rauk as well. That works effectively. If you have one Akaro with enough defense, you can run twins Akaro if you want.
Yeah, it's like effectively, super effective. It's like, it's very, very effective. Let's move on. Where do you want to go now, Tyler?
Where do I want to go now? Let's look for somebody who's looking for some arena help.
Oh, the Penguin King. Dude, it was so nice meeting you in person. What's up, dude?
So it's Seshomadu is asking, I have a few Nat 5s and I'm not sure who to invest double mons into so I can progress in arena and guild content. I think this is a really unique question because a lot of people ask this.
Yeah, I love questions like this. Looks like
their farming team progression is pretty good. They have Trakaris down. They do not have the Sath Melia team down, but they do have Sath built and they're working on it. I'm seeing a lower level of guild content, so we're looking at like the C2, C3 range. Okay. I think this is actually a pretty good area to kind of work on. A lot of people wonder about what they should do in this situation. So for units, you should Devilmon for Guild Wars and Siege. I think your 2A staples are going to be really important. So getting a Lulu, getting a Vigor, those units are absolutely key. For Nat 5s, I really like having a lot of the fusions. Riley is really helpful and really safe. I think that using Fire Panda can be good in a lot of situations with defense break and a team cleanse now. But for the units that you have in your box, I think that what will help you most is probably Jean Tassarian and maybe the Carnal.
Yeah, I love the Bison. It's surprising how much Tassarian counters, like even more so now than like in previous years of the game. Like Tassarian is kind of that monster that is just like the best kept secret in Summoners War. Like, he's never on anybody's radar, but he just takes out a whole bunch of dominant units all the time.
Yeah,
so that's
sure.
really awesome.
Another thing worth mentioning with skilling up units, because I noticed it's happening on this account. When you're skilling up a unit, guys, make sure that you focus on what's needed on the unit. So if you need cooldowns or you need harmful effect rate, make sure you skill up until that point. If the last skill ups are just damage, sometimes you can skip them and come back to them later. Like if you have 5 units of Devilmon and you only have 21 Devilmon, you're only going to get 2 or 3 of them, right?
Right.
So let's say you're working on if you can go to the Water Homunculus. So the Water Homunculus has harmful effect rate on skill 1, cooldown on skill 3. And I think that would be more beneficial had you max those out if you're using it for content, right? If you're regularly using it, it's great. But if you go to a unit like a Charlotte or an Annabelle or anything, a couple of their last skill ups are just raw damage. Right. So they're okay to skip if you've already got your harmful effect rates.
Oh yeah, I didn't check to see. I think he's probably doing all of TOA hard with the progression of this, but like I didn't check to see. But like this unit is one of my favorites to use there if for some reason you're not, but you totally can if you've got Trick Root going on. But yeah, well said. I'm actually encountering some of those issues right now because I just recently realized my Wusa is missing skill ups on skill 2. I didn't like fully skill him back in the day because that skill 2 wasn't as relevant as it is now. And so now I'm suffering for it. And there is a cooldown time reduction on that final one. So great. So yeah, in summary, look for what those monsters need, what they can benefit from. Cooldown time is by far the biggest priority. I think out of the monsters that you suggested, I'm a huge fan of Bison too, because like the Bison is great in siege content, but he also transitions really well into RTA. But if you find that you need help refining areas of your PvE, then you could go for something like the Water Homunculus.
I have a really good one in chat.
Oh yeah? Let's do it.
So I'll give a little teaser to this. I'm making a very extensive YouTube series guide on this, but there's a question in chat right there from Gila El Joker that says, I'm a returning player and I need help with everything. Any tips? I can give you 3 tips immediately that will help you with everything. The first tip is make sure that you get a Second Awakened Saf. Second Awakened Saf is the Fire Grim Reaper. And the reason you get Saf and not necessarily Tatu is because if you have Saf and Dots, which is melee fusion, you can clear everything fast with a safe team. So you can run like Veramos or Lulu and stay cleansed and healed up while everything dies to Dots, right? The second thing I would suggest is try to make constant use of your Dimensional Hole energy. It's a very limited resource, so if you're not working on a Second Awakened unit, try to farm one of the dungeons at B4, B5 so you can get runes, gems, and grinds. And the third piece of advice is make sure that you're clearing your arena wings on cooldown if possible. They've improved the amount of glory points that you get for clearing and also made it a little easier to do towers, but that's going to be the biggest progression point improvement for you. What's important is making sure you have a 100% safe team, right? With auto repeat battle, it's really easy to farm all of your crystals down. Even if you have slower teams, you'll still farm all your crystals down, but you need to make sure that you're not wasting your resources, because if you're not a pretty high spender, you need your resources to help you progress.
Yeah, so that's a very good point, because like the repeat battle system makes it so that consistency is way more valuable than speed. So back in the day, like speed teams were always it, but like in the beginning, you just want consistency. So right off the bat, when I'm looking at your profile too, don't be like me. Don't force yourself to jump the dragons right away. Take your time, sit in Giant's Keep for a little while, get yourself a nice foundation of Swift runes. That's probably the best advice that I can give a new player. Also, if you're still using Verd on Giants, I would remove that, and you could either shift your Veramos over there, or you could throw in a Sigmaris. You could even take out Vero altogether, throw in a Second Awakened Crow, and you're good to go. If you want, let's just take a peek at what they're working with. I also really liked your note about Saf over Tatu, because like...
Well, because they changed Tatu. So
yeah.
Tatu can blow up dots without... it's a little bit slower, but it still works effectively.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see what you have, what you're working with. You got the Fran.
They're working on the Saf.
You got the Lorne. Working on the Saf. That's excellent. Couple quick changes before we go. Oh, I also see some questions really fast. Which server are we on? Thank you, BlazeFox. We're on Global. We're also in chat channel number 7, for those of you wondering. And you don't really have to do anything to get on the show. Really what you're doing is, if you just say what you need some help with, Tyler and I are gonna jump in chat channel number 7. We'll look to see what we can help with. We'll try to answer questions that help a large sum of people, because we only stream for about an hour, right? So we wanna make sure that we get the most general advice out for everybody.
So Niels Costello has a question. Can I get some help with PC10? The only thing I wanna ask is, do you have Trakara Rune? And if you're using Trakara and Dragons, let me know, because if you are, then we can make this easy. If not, I'll give you other suggestions.
What's up, Fastlex? So back to the account at hand too. So with all that advice said, because that's all super helpful for progression too, a little bit more microscopic look at your account here. Your Fran wants to be a little bit faster. So for both Fran and Lauren, you want to aim for substats that'll bring your speed up to about 100, as close to plus 100 as you can get.
Also, generally, you don't want to use flat slots on 2, 4, and 6, especially slot 2, unless it's speed, of course, because we have a flat HP slot 2 here, where flat HP slot 2 is pretty inefficient. If you run a speed slot 2 at plus 15 6-star, it's gonna be 42 speed, or 5-star it'll be 39 speed. So try to find out ways to find more efficient overall stats on your units.
Yeah, so this is if you're going to take one thing away from this stream today, and we'll say this for all the new players out there, anybody who's taken a big break and they're just coming back. So your 2, 4, and 6 slots are the only slots that can have percentages on their main, and that is always going to be better. Now, with that said, there's a super important caveat. Speed is the only stat in the game that will never appear as a percentage. So keep your speed slot 2s. They're immensely important, and you're going to want to put a lot of your units in the beginning on speed slot 2, namely your Fran and your Lauren, because these guys, speed, this is a bit of a reduction, but speed loosely translates to more turns. More speed, more turns, right? And you want these guys here to be taking as many turns as possible so they can keep doing what they're doing. And also, you don't need to force violence super early. Swift is fabulous.
So Neos, since you're running Tricaro and Dragons, for PC10 specifically, a lot of people don't know this, but your best bet is to go left-right boss or right-left boss. You kill both the towers and then the boss when you're using Tricaro. And the reason you do that is because the towers mess up your turn order really badly. So you need to kill them.
Oh wow, I love seeing the fire gargoyle. Oh my god, this is just what we were talking about. This is so sick, Neos. This is awesome.
Pretty good.
Oh, and you're welcome. You're welcome for the explanation. Anytime, I hope that helps.
Also, I just typed in chat if anyone wants to look at my profile for records and stuff. If you have questions about the teams that I run for things, you can let me know as well in the stream.
Okay, let's find someone next. Oh, you guys are bringing the good questions today. Also, now's the time as well to ask about arena defenses and arena offenses, because the inter-server arena battle is coming up. The qualifiers are right now, and if you guys haven't gotten a chance to see the rewards, if you head on over to event and go to game guide, at the top there, I think I said events, I meant to say rewards. If you head to events and you go up there, check out the rewards for the arena inter-server battle. It's inside the guide. There's some good stuff in there, and there's a nice lump sum of glory for everybody who ends up participating.
There's a lot of glory in there.
Yes, there's a lot. So if you're one of those people like myself that still needs to up every single one of their towers, this is a good opportunity.
I don't have max towers.
Oh, thank God.
I
feel so validated right now, Tyler.
I said I would never max my light tower until I pulled an LD Nat 5, but the day that I pull it, I will farm until it's over, until I get a max.
Heck yes, dude.
Without stopping.
I feel so validated right now. But that's kind of an edge case. That isn't, you pretty much have them. You just have a caveat. Okay, so let's see what's next. What could be an arena defense to get to at least C1?
So, misconception. I don't think you need an arena defense until you hit Guardian 1. You can set something that looks scary.
Interesting.
You can set something that looks difficult to hit, or you can set something that will really stall people out, like lots of healers. But when it comes to getting Conqueror 1 in Arena, your best bet is to play during that last hour and actually make sure that you clear all of your wings and you win. It's better to, if you're looking for the rank specifically, you're better off skipping something that looks like you might not be able to win and actually just going into a really safe offense. Yeah. Even if you have to run slower safe offense, like you don't have double Lucian, you don't have Jemire Bassett Lucian like I do, you can run Fran, Cocky, Verd, something, or you can bruiser it down, and that's totally fine. Like that's totally acceptable. You don't have to speed clear everybody.
Yeah, and I'm feeling called out in a way. I know that wasn't, but like that's exactly how I tend to approach arenas. I like to take the same team in. It's like I'm gonna try to do this with my team, and sometimes I take risks that I frankly shouldn't. And also with inter-server arena battle, when it actually drops, part of this is that it's probably going to slow down a lot. Once we're actually in the midst of it and people are attacking, and you only have a certain number of attacks and you're contributing towards like your team, which is your entire server. We actually were talking to Seishizo about this, and everybody, Seishizo was talking about how he thinks it's going to slow down a lot and be treated more like guild siege.
Yeah, so the two of us actually had a pretty long conversation about it yesterday. We think that Destroy will be really meta, and it'll be one of the only ways to actually win defense is running Destroy. Speed cleave defenses won't be very effective because you can out-tank them and you can run slow. It really is essentially playing Guild Wars or Siege, just a slower process, right? It'll be a 4-monster team instead of a 3-monster team. So like if someone's running, like take a rush defense, for example, someone runs Samoth, Clara, some strong CC, you know, let's just say Jean and then Rika, right? I'll just walk into that with Ariel, Lulu, Cocky on Destroy, and then hit auto.
Yeah. And
like
then
it doesn't matter what my 4th unit is.
You're just gonna go, like you're just gonna get incremental value with the Destroy until eventually you're netting positive on damage, and then you're gonna kill him.
Exactly. And then that's why we think it's gonna, because essentially the way it works is you get 50 attacks, you get to attack each person once, and you get the whole week to do it. So there's no like actual time crunch pressure to it.
Right.
So you can kind of just do like 8 a day, 9 a day if you want to. So I don't think it'll be very much like current Arena is because of the rush hour setup.
Well said. So now with all that out of the way, we got you Mango here who's asking for help with an Arena offense. They were asking for an Arena offense situation, and they have some kind of fun.
In-game name is
UMANG08. UMANG08.
I see it.
Cool. And so I'm going to go in. The reason I wanted to help them is because I know that a lot of people can benefit from Arena offense advice, but they also look like they have some pretty fun and unique tools. I saw Light Chun-Li in there too. I'm just going to quick scroll to the right just to see. Oh, I almost got confused by the Lu Mei. I was like, oh, that's a Lu Mei. I thought I saw Light. There she is, the Light Chun-Li. They also have an Isis, which is kind of neat too. But when we're talking about Arena offenses, the one that I'm personally using right now, I'm using Tiana. I'm using Tiana, Galleon Cocky. But if you have another stripper that can replace Tiana, we can potentially use that as well.
I would suggest using Light Chun-Li. I think Light Chun-Li is an incredibly good unit, especially for Arena. I think there's a bit of a unique setup where you can use Cocky or Light Chun-Li depending on what kind of teams you have. Are you familiar with what the Fire Chun-Li does?
Oh yes, it attack buffs, or I'm sorry, attack bar boost.
Fire Chun-Li, the Fire String Master. Sorry, the Fire String Master.
Oh no, I don't know her stance very well.
So the Fire String Master is unique in the sense that so first of all, she has really high base speed, right? So she's 107 base speed. But the cool thing with her is that she gives attack bar boost, and then she only gives buffs on your turn. So if you want to, you can run like her with Tiana and then a defense breaker. But in this situation, I think that you probably want to run something like Gemini first, Hongyan second, and then probably a Bernard third, and you can run a slow Leah or Light Chun-Li. So what happens is you put your fastest whip set on Gemini, you speed 2 in your Hongyan 1 speed behind, or your Bernard 1 speed behind, doesn't matter. They're both really high base speeds, right? And then you have attack buff, speed buff, and a defense break strip from the Gemini. And it's not super hard to tune a Light Chun-Li to like double attack bar boost. You're tuning it to a 15% and a 30% with speed buff. So you'll be okay in most situations. I don't think you need to make her this fast. You can make her 100 crit and you can just give her a ton of extra damage.
I dig that advice. I like that.
And if you're going artifact setups as well, because she's not ignore defense, I think that there's value in crit damage as good, bad, and for the skill. If you are ignore defense, attack increasing effect or damage delta specific element is by far the strongest. So like Lucian's attack increasing effect is the way to go.
Super. And I saw somebody say something that I wanted to answer in chat. I will try to find that. Fastlex said, Evan, I want to start improving my DB12 team. My DB12 time, please help me make a team. You got it, dude. What's up, Dark Supremo? How are you? Sees them. Just got the Fire Slayer. Oh my God, Babasi, congratulations. That's huge, actually. That is one of my most wanted units is what you just pulled. Congratulations.
Oh, there's Fastlex. Finding people. Oh, I was gonna say finding people's names. There it is.
Nice. Which one is that one?
Fastlex.
Oh, you did find Fastlex. Cool, perfect. There it is. Here, Evan. So they want to start improving their DB12 team because they think they want to increase the time. We can totally do this, dude. Like, yes, we can totally help you out.
I truly think the answer is Trikaru.
I think so too, but like part of that is there's a pretty big barrier to entry with Tricaro where it's like you need to have been farming for a little while, or you either need to get your guard runes from dragons in the first place, or you need to get them from like Dimension.
So seeing their times, I think that they could do it.
You think so?
Yeah, they have a 1:30 Giants team. So you don't actually need, there's a misconception, you don't actually need guard runes at all to do Tricaro. And the reason for that is because you can run 3 to 6 determination sets, right?
Always.
And farming determination sets, 1, they don't have to be good runes. 2, you can craft them. And 3, Tricaros are free to play units.
They are. I don't see any built so far, but so that can definitely be something that you want to work towards. Like Tyler makes a good point. Yeah, the Tricaro team is a little bit more accessible than people think it is. I still think
people have this idea
that high, but like
people have this idea that determination runes have to be really, really good. And I'm telling you right now, they don't. Determination runes can be bad. They could be white runes, and they would work. Because you get all the defense you need from slot 3, slot 5, and then your determination sets, right? The only difficult part is really getting enough damage from the Verd.
Yeah,
but
that's exactly what Jaehyun just pointed out, actually. That's really funny that you bring that up.
So now that was the case before like artifacts. I think with when they buffed the artifacts to increase damage lines, getting a blue artifact with 6 to 7% damage attacking together on each of your artifacts is more than enough to outdamage things.
Nice. That is
because if you're increasing your total damage output by 10 to 15% on every single unit, you're outputting your total damage output by 50 to 60%, right?
Right. So with that said, let's look at the Verd and see how far they.
We're in channel 7.
We're in channel 7. Yes, thank you. Oh, Indominus Link says my Tricaro team is on full determination runes. See, there it is. Okay, so right now they were kind of using a hybrid starter team, but they were including Beth in there. Let's see if we can find a change that they can lock down right now so that they can kind of start bringing their time down, because they were at like 3 minutes something.
I go back and look at their profile and you can keep their...
Great idea. So we're going to use, obviously Verd is going to be there no matter what. You're never going to not use Verd in a Dragons team. At least in 2021, which when this stream is happening. I don't know if there's something that happens later on where new unit comes out that outpaces Verd. I don't see that happening. I think he's one of the best units in the game. So we're going to be using Verd. I would recommend still doing like, but you have so many cool nap 5s. Oh my God, I almost dropped the phone. You have so many cool nap 5s that I would want to suggest, but I really think that the starter team can bring you up to pace with this, because right now you're using Beth in there.
I think they should use Tayor if it's
Tayor would be really cool. Yeah, Tayor is actually currently ruined right now, so Tayor could be helpful.
So with Tayor's changes, the skill 3 is really effective, because the skill 3 provides slow debuff to the towers, and this team has no tower slow debuff right now, which is kind of one of that's one of the bigger issues when it comes to not having Tricaro, is if you don't have slow debuff for the right side and left side towers, it's a little bit difficult to run a faster team.
Hey, what's up, Dots? It's been a long time, SW Dots. Says, hey guys, any chance we can get the ability to feed 6 stars for blessing crystals? That's something that we could potentially pass along. I'll take that to heart. Seppi's hair looks different today, says Tree. Actually, that's a great moment to say, guys, if you're enjoying the advice and you want to see more OnceInLuv, you can use command OnceInLuv if you're on Twitch to get a link to his Twitch channel, and then if you're on YouTube, it's in the description below. So please give him a follow if you're not following already. What's up, Ricardo? How are you? Literally. So yeah, Tayor. I think Tayor is kind of an easy change to make. And then I would still use like the Lauren. I would still bring Lauren for consistent defense break. And just make sure that you have a couple strip options like we were talking about, because sometimes Lauren likes to miss, or she likes to use her second skill when there's no immunity there. So you don't have it when the time comes.
I see Dragons running standard teams. I'm gonna quickly look through this.
Yeah, take a look. And then after, I'll take a look to see where we go next. That Tayor needs some crit rate. It definitely does, Jaehyun. Definitely does. Can I have help for scary looking AD for C1 and offense improvements? Yeah, we can do some, KZ Shiro, we can definitely do some arena defense help, because now with so many people are playing arena right now that it kind of helps to have something that will just dissuade folks from attacking you. That's kind of how I'm passing by. Although my arena doesn't have like the strongest success rate against people, it also doesn't have a lot of attacks. Like people are kind of skipping over it because they don't want to deal with it. If you have an Aerial is awesome on defense right now, more so now than ever. He's super annoying. Putting him on double nem will is the best thing you can do for him right now.
So somebody asked about PC10, SF10, and they're using the meta fast speed teams. So
Okay.
They have the Lucian Melia Zath team, and then they have the Trikaru team. So my answer to you is, first of all, get damage attacking together artifacts for your Karu and Bird team. Your Bird has incredibly high HP and needs more damage. For PC10 specifically, make sure you're going left-right boss or right-left boss. You do need to kill both powers. For SF10, try to get double will on your Sath so he's never stunned, and same with your Tatu, and then just make them tankier. If you're struggling with consistency on the run, it's better to make everyone tankier and make the run take longer, but never have to lose.
So this is KZ Shiro from Twitch right now, and they were asking for help with their arena defense. So this is what you're using right now.
So you have a really aggressive arena offense here with Samath and Clara, but nothing follows it up. So you have no actual hard CC to follow it. So Clara goes with skill 3, assuming she's on Swift. Praha doesn't do anything. And then Kaki just does damage if he gets a turn. But the biggest issue in this situation is like with this defense, you have nothing that stops people from just bruisering it. It doesn't have enough damage because there's no like AoE defense break or attack buff or any threat with the Kaki. And it's also no like hard CC locking defense. Like a lot of people will run Clara into Jean or Clara into, you know, Rika and something else, like some sort of CC, right? With your defense, you just don't have that right now.
So let's see what you do. You do have a Rakan. Rakan's nice because it's hard to Lucian. That is nice, but it is easily cockieable, if I can mint a new word on stream.
Cockieable.
Cockieable.
All right, I'll take it.
Yeah, it's cockieable. Rutesh can kind of be helpful on.
I don't mind Rakan Rutesh actually, and I also don't mind running Laura in place of the Clara if you have a fast Despair set, because Laura Despair Stun random chance is enough to stop Lucians in a lot of cases. 120 base speed with the 33 lead is pretty significant.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? So it's like you get the 33 lead, and like your fast runes, hopefully on Despair again, hopefully on Despair, they will go a lot further on this unit because
Good choice on skin.
Yeah,
I approve.
Very nicely done. So yeah, you've got the Laura. I would use it. Oh, this could actually be helpful.
If you want to run a tanky bruiser defense, I think Rakan Rutesh is actually not bad. And if you do run them, just run them both on triple HP.
Yeah.
Crit rate to 50 range and run them all triple HP, like 200 speed range with a Molly +1. Leader skill unit will be good.
That's kind of close to mine, except I don't have a Rutesh that I can use.
That with a Nemesis Praha or a Nemesis Aerial would be stall
That's
enough
it.
for people.
Yeah. Perfect.
That would stall well.
Okay. Let's go in. I'll let you choose the next one.
Okay, sounds good. Also with your guys' Sath Melia teams, if you're not running the Swift Melia, you want Sath to move first because Melia dots double if there's already a dot on the enemy. Ginger Latte. It's a nice
Ginger
name.
Latte, that's cool.
I use Fran, Lauren, Spectra, Teshar, and Lulu in Giant Speed 10. Is that a typical team? That's pretty good. I think as you move towards Giant Speed 12, you can continue to use that. But once you get the opportunity to build it to a Sath, you can transition to a team of like Veramos, or even if you don't have Veramos, you could do like Lulu, Fran, Melia, Sath, and something else. Just something else that has dots or something safe. You could run a Water Homunculus in a situation like that.
Wow,
lots
38 days played. You're doing great.
This is good.
Yeah, you're doing great. 38 days. Heavens, look at this. You're already midway through TOA hard.
Did you just stop yourself from saying heavens to Betsy?
I did stop myself from saying heavens to Betsy.
I heard head, and then he stopped, and I was like, wait a minute.
That was
I
gonna
heard
be,
that.
that was gonna be
last week.
heavens to Betsy.
I heard it last week.
I'm feeling very vulnerable right now.
Okay, so I have a question for you, chat. What shirt do you like more? Do you like my Wusa shirt or do you like Evan's shirt?
Or the Gianna.
What do you guys think is better? So this is the New York meetup shirt, and this is the LA meetup shirt.
Which one do you guys like better? Let's see it in chat.
It's hard to say, 'cause I mean, Gianna's a great character, but Wusa with that new skin is just,
I know.
He's just dapper.
Wusa looks so dapper with the new
right?
skin. He looks great on that one. He's never been more relevant. Wusa. We got only one vote for Gianna.
Ooh, there's a lot of Wusa in here.
I'm tired of Wusa. Well, it sounds like you're tired of Wusa for other reasons. I don't think it's the shirt.
Damn, Wusa is winning by like
Yeah,
a
I know. You
landslide.
saw that?
I
What
wasn't
is this?
expecting that.
I know. You guys. So hard because I love both, says Celtic. Why not both?
The Wusa one looks good. It's the bird, I think. The bird has the
Quit
advantage.
sitting on the fences, guys. Like, why not both?
Even see the art. Can we
Pick a side.
get a zoom in of us
Pick
so they can see the
pick
art?
a side, guys. Gianna or Wusa? I like the background on Gianna better. Yeah, you know, actually, like her little, the puffy thing, the puffy, like, boa thing, actually pretty cool. Is there a place we can buy shirts online? SW Dots? No, not right now. The only place that you can really get the SW merch is at meetups right now.
And sometimes I have extras that I give away on stream if I get them. Like if they don't fit.
I came in here for a reason. Oh, it was to talk about that GB12 team. So like everything that Tyler said, it was totally apt. I think pivoting towards a dot team would really help you a lot right now. If you're looking for immediate stability assistance, I would take out the Lucian, because Lucian, if you're this early on in the game, Lucian's gonna add a lot of variance. I would go with something a little safer. That's why I like to recommend Sigmaris as your lead, right? So 44% HP lead. You bring your Fran, you bring your Lauren, you got the 2A Crow, and then you can either use your Teshar here. I think the Teshar is built, so it's gonna be easiest. So yeah, you can bring the Teshar. That's what I would probably say.
Also, just a reminder for the people who weren't here at the start, if you do want Aeon advice or suggestions, your best bet is to give context when you have questions like, hey, I'm trying to do this content, I've been using this team, it's not working. What do you think about it, right? Instead of just, hey, help me with dragons, right? Sure, I guess, I mean, I can take a look, but asking you 5 more questions to figure it out will make it take a lot longer. So help us help you, essentially, is kind of what I'm looking to say here.
Exactly. Then we don't have to do as much digging to find out the problem. We'll know exactly.
Solo R5, please. If you're looking for Solo R5 speed team, I have one on my YouTube. It's almost entirely free to play, minus maybe 1 unit, but it's optional.
And usually, yeah, there's replacements for stuff like that.
I just use a Fire Reef for the attack lead. You can use just about anything in that slot, though.
Can you guys help with RTA teams? I got Hagang, but can't synergize well, says Kieran's. Yes, we can do some RTA teams. Let's see what we got here.
Let's take a look.
Where can we find this?
So if you want to utilize Hagang, the most important thing I did, yeah. Kids. The most important thing with using Hagang is making sure that you have will on all of your units. If you don't have will on your team, Hagang doesn't do anything. And the reason it doesn't do anything is because Hagang's design is that if they strip you, he cleanses. But if you don't have any will, there's nothing they strip, right? If you just run shield runes, they just break it because they do too much damage. So making sure that whatever you want to run, you run with will, I think is going to be fine. I don't necessarily think that there's any specific team comp I would suggest using with Hagang for you, because I don't see a lot of like control cleave. But honestly, you can take him as a counter pick right now.
Exactly, that's it. Yeah, Hagang sometimes doesn't have to be a unit that you build around. Sometimes you'll have a different stripper that you want to use. Hagang is more than happy being like the 4th pick on your team when they present like a Gianna, or like when your enemy presents something that you need to use as passive to actively counter. So yes, I totally agree with that. But you do have some really cool units for RTA, actually. You're a little low on water, but that's okay. Usually some accounts tend to lean in one element or another. But you've got the Vigor, which is super helpful. Obviously, we just talked about Hagang as a counter option. Cocky is always good to have runed. I'm using, personally, I've got my Verd runed on Swift right now with my fastest Swift set to start. But he's also great on Bio Nem. You can still do the triple revenge, or you can do double revenge will to counter people who are trying to strip you, to counter up against like Chiwus. Love the Veligul. Allegedly, he defense breaks now on 2nd skill. I still have yet to see that happen. I don't know if I've resisted it or what, but he has,
I gotta give him some fair accuracy.
Allegedly.
I think I run 60 on mine.
These units are great. CR is an excellent first pick in RTA. If I was you right now, I would probably ruin your CR in such a way that you'd want to first pick her and then lead with and then go to like Fran or Lauren next. I really like those 2 units because they're kind of neutral. They don't really signal what you're trying to do, and they're both light, so it's difficult to counter them. And then let's see if you have anything super fun to play with in the rear here. This is good to have runes.
But this is not bad for current meta stuff.
Yeah, current meta is really good right now. Once people know what he does, it's a little bit harder. Ooh, this is actually helpful, and here's a great AoE stripper.
Sure, I just got buffed too.
Yeah, he just got buffed.
Just got buffed. It's pretty decent. Not a bad unit.
Did they have Masha? Simon says Masha Hagang is super good. Did they have Masha? I might have skipped over it. I didn't personally see that. Oh, my Rika just reached level 40. Congrats, Rika.
Totemist runes. Most totemists are violent or despair. Will or nemesis.
Let's see what's
usually
next.
Speed HP, speed HP resistance, or I wouldn't say run accuracy slot 6. I think with totemists you can generally find enough accuracy with artifacts and with slot 2 and such and innates.
So Tyler, where do you want to go next? I see a couple. I see Danion's asking for, I have no idea who to use in my GB10 team. We've talked about GB a lot though. Elpo Tree is asking for RTA help. We've got arena help, artifact dungeons. What sort of genre of question do you want to tackle?
I'm happy to do any of them.
Okay.
That's the thing, it's hard. So I think you choose Evan.
Okay.
And I'll just go with it.
Excellent. Well, let's jump into Tree because I've been seeing Tree talking in chat, so that's Elpo Tree.
Yep, got it.
Cool.
Elpo Tree responds to almost all of my YouTube videos.
You gotta help out. You gotta help out Tree. Tree is always doing so well, and I love your Punisher's Crypt team, by the way.
So they want RTA help?
Yes, sir.
Ooh, that's a fun.
And they've got fun toys. I knew this was going to be a good one because Tree's got some really fun.
Nikki's pretty fast too. It's actually well written. I think
they have a Nikki.
I think you just go damage cleave. Like you set up like control cleave stuff. So you set up with things like. Actually, you don't have a Hagang. Oh, I would just pick Wusa first. You lead Wusa into Nikki Riley or like Nikki Chungpong or something, because even if you don't end up stripping them, you either have immunity with Wusa and true damage, and you can damage cleave with Nikki, or you have Chongpong Carnal Nikki, and then you strip into it. I think that's fine.
That sounds great to me. But yeah, make the Nikki a core part. Tree, if while we're in your account, maybe you could just let us know what you're using currently.
Yeah. And then if you need to for last picks, you can choose Eludia or Water Ryu. And also with your Eludia, you don't need 100 crit on it anymore. Eludia doesn't need crit for skill 2 after the buffs. Yeah. You only need accuracy.
Dude, the Phoenixes had a really nice time in that balance pack.
Well, I use Perna all the time now.
Yeah.
You remember.
I remember that, yes.
Perna is good. Perna is good.
What should we do? Cool. No Hagang. But yeah, so I love that. Yeah, very cool units. I love the toys that you got on your account. Looks like you could have a lot of fun there.
For the person saying they're stuck on TOA 90 normal, what's your TOA team?
What's 90 right now? Is that CR? Or is that?
I can check, but I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know it this month. Let's see. I need.
It is Jamire. So the key with Jamire is something that not a lot of people know. Jamire will only cleanse if his allies use skills. So if you completely CC his team, he'll never cleanse.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I haven't. Well, probably because usually I'm using a Lauren or something that'll lap him a lot, so he often doesn't really take a turn.
Yep. It's a pretty cheese mechanic, but the way his skill is coded is that it only works as a reset and not as a cleanse. So like regardless of how low HP you get, he won't cleanse on auto at least.
I've been seeing a couple people ask for GB12 help, so why don't we just jump in and see. You know what? This is a dot team. We talked about the dot team today, but we actually haven't seen. This is from Papa Thick.
Yeah, I see that. So they're saying it's really slow. I mean, you're running 1 minute team. I don't know how slow that is.
This is actually really good. Yeah, because exactly. And this brings us all back around to the top of the show when we were talking about how repeat battle values consistency over speed. And what you have here is a nice hybrid between consistent and speed team. Like 1 minute is actually on the faster side of dot teams, especially one using Veramos. If you're
actually, if you want it to be a little bit faster, you can drop the accuracy on your Melias. Yeah, to 55. One of them's 100. Another thing that's kind of important is your Tatu has a minimum speed, because if you're too slow, you move after the enemy mobs, which means that you run a slower team overall.
Yes, that is a really good point. Yeah, because someone told me the minimum speed last time, and I think I forgot it. Was it 39, 40?
Plus 41.
It's plus 41?
I think so.
I was too off. So, yeah, it's plus 41 speed. So she needs to be slow, but not that slow. And as a rule of thumb too, like, you know, Seppi and I do a lot of talking on this stream about that GB12 starter team. And we talk about, like, you know, Fran Lauren at 100. Sometimes we'll mention as well the damage dealers should be the slowest on your team. But when we say slowest, we usually mean about 40-ish speed. So 41, 42 speed. And that's because if they're not that minimum speed, they will get cut by the giant. And you'll go get slapped. And you don't want to get slapped. So it's going to die.
Here, maybe we'll do this.
I know, Dr. Delight. That'd be so cool.
I will take out all of my PvE units, like all my basic teams. I know the runes and artifacts are like very specific for like the speed teams that are running, but I'll leave the runes or the units out so you guys can see and have an idea of like where you want to go next if you're trying to look for those improved stats.
Oh, I see a question from Alfredo on here. Evan, any chance?
Alfredo.
Evan, any chance for you to jump into EU server? We could do EU server. Actually, let's just see how much interest there is. Guys, could I get a hands up in chat, in Twitch and YouTube chat, if you're on a EU server and you'd like us to head over there? Because if there's not a lot of interest, maybe we could just answer similar questions on global and it'll help everybody. Lopa Q, obviously. Lopa's always Lopa's got great stuff.
I know, I reviewed Lopa's RTA box and helped with that.
Oh, this is great. The bad hand. That's something we didn't talk about. Dimension Predator is too hard for me, but I know I can beat it. If possible, can I get team recommendations? I've come close once. The bad hand, can you say your name in chat channel number 7? We can this one's easy, quote unquote.
So we can talk about strategy info first. So
yes.
The first thing that's important with Dimensional Predator is you can do Dimensional Predator with white runes. There's two things that are There are two things that are really important with Dimensional Predator. One of them is making sure you have will on all of your units. The second one is making sure that you have the right stats. Now, the way stats work in Dimensional Predator is they amplify your stats. So speed is total speed or bonus speed divided by 10 added to your speed for turn order, and then your stats get multiplied by 10. So the only thing you really need to do is get 100 crit, 100 resist, and 85 accuracy. And the reason that you shoot for these stats is because every other stat gets amplified except for those, and your crit damage automatically goes to 150. So you can do it with white runes as long as you run the right stats you're looking for.
That's that's something that not a lot of people talk about. Like Dimension Predator, because all the stats are multiplied, like that's actually like super helpful. It's the same name as it is here. So the bad hand, I'll try to find you on there too. I'll try to find you on there in just 1 second too. So while we're looking at the strategy decks real quick, I just want to talk about the team that I used to clear it, which is the top one, except instead of Crow, I used, or actually I think it's easier just to say the second team. Instead of Vela, I used Belger. I used the Fire Lightning Emperor, but the rest of the team is the same.
I just realized that first strategy deck was a non-2-8 Bella.
That was just a Bella.
Yeah.
That is just
it's
Bella.
Facing the other way, so I was like, why is it doing that?
Just Bella. Oh, I think I also used Vero. I think I also used Vero on this one. I think I used Veramos. Yeah, I think I used Veramos instead. Wow, my team was kind of weird. Now I'm realizing my team was a little weird this time, but I like having multiple stacks.
Any advice for running out of rune space? Trim your runes better.
Yes, yeah, figure out what you need to focus on. Roll your runes up to +6. Just see if they're rolling the right way.
There are 800 rune spots in the game, and every single unit you have can hold 6 runes. So assuming average distribution, where your slot 246 is like quite a bit lower, your average is like 22% in 135s versus like 15.5 in the other ones. Generally people just keep too many runes. If you have like 17 or 1800 runes in your box, unless the majority of your runes are over like 110% efficiency, you're probably keeping too many runes that you're never gonna re-app. So like if you're keeping legend runes within 8s for sets like Blade or Focus or Endure and stuff like that, you're probably never gonna re-app them. But 1, because there's not enough re-apps in the world to get to those, and 2, because they're just not priority sets. So I would usually suggest getting rid of those first.
I just realized I dreamt about Summoner's Versus 8. JN, I remember depleting my mana in my dreams. I had no idea I had so many I have so many slot 3s. You're upping your runes in your dreams. So this is the Bad Hands account. I just wanted to just do a quick look and tell them what they can use for it. So you've got your Verd right here. You've got Cocky. That's your first AoE damage. Again, you need the AoE damage for the mid boss. So you can bring him. You can bring Cocky. Sometimes I'll use Baelger. If you have a Veramos, Veramos is actually extra good in the Dimension Predator because the boss's dots will never go away unless they're cleansed, right? And Veramos has no choice but to cleanse debuffs on the start of his turn. So he can be super helpful there. Fran is awesome for the attack buff and the heal, obviously. And then you can either bring like a Crow or a 2A Rao, because I see that you don't have a Veramos. But that is my recommendation.
I think a Lulu as well.
Lulu would also be super helpful. Now the only danger is then you really just want to make sure that you can kill the Lulu. Now that's the biggest thing, because I have brought Lulu, Lala, Zhang Fei. Like those monsters, when I bring them into D-Pred, if the Dimension Predator steals them during the phases in between the boss levels, if you don't kill him, he's going to get a bunch more damage. So you just got to make sure that they're tanky enough to survive the boss, but not so tanky that you personally can't kill them.
Is it worth changing to pure damage after the Giants V12 nerf? The answer is actually no, unless you're running really effective like Trikaru-based teams where you're using Belial to fight sets. It's usually faster to run dot teams. Like the fastest team I can run with Trikaru is like 41 seconds.
Yeah.
But my dot team with 2 5-star Melias is still average 31 seconds. So there's like, it's not really a reason to do it if you already have it. It's more just like if you want the change of pace and you want something different.
Yeah, sometimes dungeon teams can just be a fun project to work on, but like really the answer is not necessarily. It's who it really helps the most is new players trying to transition from like GB10 into GB12. That's who it helps the most. You know, that's where the change can be felt. Okay, so let's see what's next. Can you guys help me with my bruiser comp for my box for arena offense or defense? I have no idea what to use. Maybe break into C1.
Yes, do you want to pull that up?
Yeah, let's do that. That's from Grimm's at the bottom there, right above Nomen Empire. Let's see what you're using for your defense right now. Wow, the Skogul and the Trazar.
That's a really good siege offense. Skogul Trazar +1.
And Riley. Wow, how's this one doing actually? Because like this is kind of cool. Oh, Jim says, hey Evan, why don't you see me when I write in the SW chat? Honestly, sometimes stuff will just fall through the cracks. We're kind of watching 3 different chats, so if you mean the in-game chat, there's a billion people like typing in-game chat.
So
I'm like, sorry.
I'm like scrolling through it, like trying to find people that like were just asking about something. I'm just like, I can't find that name anymore.
Yeah, so sorry guys. Sometimes questions will kind of bleed through the cracks and we'll miss them, but we do these streams, or we try to do these streams fairly frequently. So if you don't get your account looked at today, you can come on by next Wednesday and Seppi and I will help you when Seppi's back. Unfortunately, Tyler might not be able to be here, but we'll see if, but you can always join us via Discord. Canada. Yeah, you'll be going home, right? So savor Tyler while he's here.
Cruisers. I see Vigor. I see Lulu. I see Bird and Perna.
Oh, Perna. Again, guys, Perna benefited from this balance patch, like, so much. Like, she's great. She's great. She strips now.
Are you on global server, Jim?
Oh, yes, that's a very... Oh, yeah, we're on global right now. This patch makes me want a Perna now. Yeah,
Riley and Triana are both really good for bruising as well.
I use Triana on mine.
I think Riley's incredibly good because the attack buff cleanse, second attack buff, and the strong heals. There's lots of like little things you can do. Basically, you would pick like core supports, and then your damage dealers are based on what the enemy has. Like you just counter it. So if they're running double water, obviously you don't want to run Perna, right? You probably want to run something wind focused or water focused.
You have some fun stuff.
I think you're good with that. Honestly, like Riley Fran, Riley Lulu, +2 is more than enough. Vigor +1 is going to be great. Vigor's your defense break setup. It gives you anti-crit and speed buff, and then you can run any single damage dealer to kind of like be the last bruiser for your comp.
And Tyler brought it up a second ago too, but Triana's passive is even more relevant now because so many people are using cocky cleave offense teams, so she can at least save somebody. Cool. I hope that helps. Yeah, exactly, Jaehyun. I felt the same way. I didn't care for Perna till this last patch, but now Perna plus Vela are my most wanted. See, that's awesome. Hey, Helm's Deepness, welcome back. Okay, we have time for a few more. Let's see what we got.
I'm trying to find this person who keeps asking me for Marshall Cat help, but I can't find them in game. Solo R5 help. Solo R5 is kind of a tough, like, generic topic. Just because it really depends on what you're trying to. Are you trying to run like safe teams for Solo R5? Are you trying to run like 2-minute teams, 1-minute teams, 30-second teams? Like, what is your intent and your goal?
Can I know where to farm next? Says Babesake. Let's just take a look real quick. Wow, Gianna, Mi Ying, where to farm next? It seems like you kind of have it going on.
The answer for where to farm next depends on what content you want to improve in. If you care more about Arena, it's usually Giants because you want Swift Despair. And Blade. If you want Siege, it's generally Violent Will and mainly Will Destroy. And if you care about RTA, you need a combination of both depending on the combinations that you focus on.
Khaled says, hey Evan, do you recommend new players resetting the account for Nat 5 or to play with what you get? That's kind of You know, I don't know where I stand on that right now because you get a lot more scrolls at the start now. I didn't re-roll because back in the day there was really nothing to re-roll for except for the LD after Famon, right? And that's a lot of playtime.
I think your best bet, if you legitimately want to re-roll, is you create 2 accounts. You re-roll on one while you're progressing on the other one. So that way if you get something that you want, you can swap accounts. Or if you decide, I don't want to re-roll anymore, you've already progressed for those 2, 3, 7 days that you've been playing the game.
Jim Poon, yes. Are you on global? I think we saw that one. Yes. Yeah. Behi?
You win mage. None of those units are worth dupes unless you plan on stealing them and using them in siege. But maybe Amelia is the only one I would consider.
Reaper's Games here at the very bottom says that they're working on NB10 right now, but it's inconsistent. Or they're stuck on NB10. So it looks like they have cleared NB11 before, but they are currently stuck. They're using...
I'm gonna guess their twins are not tanky enough.
Fran, Lauren, Rauk, Talia, Sabrina. Got it.
Your twins are not tanky enough. Your Sabrina is absolute paper and probably dies to reflect damage. I would suggest getting like another 200 defense on both your Sabrina and your Shina, and maybe like 1,000 more HP. So that could be running more HP artifacts, more defense artifacts. It could be running grinds in your runes, because grinds are really helpful, or plus 15 in your slot 3 and 5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, overall, like your team comp is fine, but the problem is you're like really, really squishy.
I don't think they're using Sabrina, or I'm sorry, I said every single one except for the one I mean. They're not using Shina in their current build. They're using Talia Sabrina.
It does a lot of damage, and you die to reflect from the golems if you're not tanky enough.
Yeah, using Rauk too. Oh, this is the wrong Rauk. There we go. Yeah, you'd be surprised at how much, like, just adding a little bit more.
Paper. They need to be tankier.
Adding some more defense and some HP will probably make it more consistent. Just double check artifacts too, and your 1, 3, 5. So it's like 3 and 5 if you really want to. So, I mean, that's what your mana is there for, right? Is for upping your runes, and once you're farming, you're gonna make the mana back. So it's like, don't get too dissuaded by plussing these. So plus 15 to get the extra HP and defense from these, and just make sure everybody's got artifacts, because those extra main stats will help tremendously.
The answer to buying all attribute scrolls in the Ancient Crystal Shop is don't do it. If you're buying an all attribute scroll because you want a legendary scroll, when you look at when you take the average rates for an all attribute versus the average rates for an LD scroll, you end up wasting a lot of ancient crystals by buying the legendary all attribute instead of just buying 3 LD scrolls. Essentially, the value is not worse because the chance to get it is worse for cost.
Can you help? Yeah.
All right, let's take a look in chat, see what's going on here.
What's up, Magician? How are you? You guys are coming with very good questions today.
How much longer do we have on the stream?
We have 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Okay. I will take one more question and I'll go really into detail for your account.
Nice.
Now, for this to work, what we're gonna do is I want you guys to guess 2 numbers.
Okay.
I want you to guess the birth month of both of us. If you get one of the 2 of them, and it's really easy, you get one of the 2 of them, and I want you to write out what you want to know, and we'll go over it.
Numbers.
Numbers, by the way.
Behold the numbers.
Behold the numbers. The numbers in chat.
What's your favorite number? September.
13 and 19. Well, there is no 13 and 19th month, sadly. Okay, Psycho Umbreon.
23.
Well,
okay, let's go in.
I said April. I'll give that.
No, they can have that. They can have that.
Okay, Psycho Umbreon. What would you like reviewed? You can ask a detailed question. We'll go through it. We'll go through it. Also, I will quickly look at Pickle Sharky's account while we're going through this.
Oh, yes, nice.
Asking about the Naomi. So Naomi does not need that much crit rate because when you hit something with debuffs, it automatically crits. So just give her more stats like HP, defense, attack, speed, and drop all the crit rate. You can keep the crit damage though.
Yeah. Major crit damage.
Okay.
0 crit rate.
Psycho Umbreon says, TOA hard has been a pain. You're on TOA hard 82. Okay, I'll take a look.
Let's see it.
Do you by chance know what's on 82?
Let me go check real quick. Let me go check what's on 82.
Okay. Can you also tell us in chat, Psycho Umbreon, what you're using for TOA right now?
It might be something leading up to it, unless this is it. Unless this is it, but it might be something else. That is not the team. Oh, this is a different phone than I normally use. I was like, that is not the team that I used to climb.
So what did they say in chat?
I have everything in box.
Okay. So the first thing I'm seeing is your units are kind of slow. So all of your like CC support units are plus 50 speed, and you want to push them towards like the 200 speed range. You have a lot of really good units for this. You have a Rika, you have a water homunculus, you have a Varad, you have a Beretta. So Rika is going to be key for your team because you want the slow debuff. If you want really, really hard CC, I would say Tyron and Rika together will be great. My suggestions, here's the stat lines for TOA hard, right? You want 45 accuracy, you want 200 speed, you want about 25k HP, and about 800 defense. Now, anything more than that will be really beneficial, and it'll be really, really nice. However, those would be my minimum suggested stat lines, and then making sure that your units are either on despair or violent. Also, DJ's comment is very relevant.
Thank you. Sorry, DJ KJK. Thank you for that.
But yes,
that's
essentially
okay.
My team suggestion for you for most stages would be Tyron, Rika, Water Homunculus, a healer, and then a Ganymede probably. And the reason I suggest the Ganymede, it might be too much pushback. You might want to drop the Tyron, but the reason I like the Ganymede is because you get to ventilate in your Rika or your Tyron if you're struggling.
Also, instead, if you don't want to use all that pushback and you want him to eventually take the punishment of the dots, the Dark Homunculus.
Yeah,
is
Dark
really
Homunculus is also good for that. You can use Dark Homunculus instead of the Tyron because you already have slow debuff from Rika.
Oh, it looks like this is a different skill unless they just haven't fully upgraded it just yet.
You can change your skills.
Yeah, changing the skills is a good one. So you want the one that resets the enemy team by it sets their skills on cooldown for 2 turns and it refreshes your teams by 2. It also slows them. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. You get a slow, which doesn't attack bar pushback, but it's going to give you more flex room so that your team can keep taking more turns and you can keep applying more dots and invoking your will on the enemy team. Oh yeah, TOA hard is also doable with the GB12 dot team. That's also very true. You just can't use double Melayu, right? But like, if you have like the Sath Tatu, you can do that, although it's a little bit dangerous if you're doing, auto. You want a manual with that one if you're doing TOA hard for kind of the first time, because they're known to derp and you hate it. You hate to see Tato burn the 3rd skill when there's nothing going on. So that would be my recommendation for that. Well, I hope that helps with the TOA 82. You definitely have the units that you need to make it there. And guys, thank you so much for all the awesome questions. You came here ready to have a discussion, ready with some problems that need solving. I hope that these answers help you a lot. Keep us updated with your progress. Tyler, is there anything that you wanted to say to people before we head out for the day?
Anything I want to say to people? I think that a lot of the time it's really, because some people complain that like we're answering basic beginner questions, and that's because we're getting asked basic beginner questions. Like I'm not really sure what to say in that situation. Any of the questions that were more detailed, we gave honest answers to, like people who talked about how to bruiser in RTA or how to set up control cleaves and stuff like that. Like if you want really high level advice, you have to know how to ask the right questions, right? You have to ask the question with context, right? So if you're saying, hey, I'm C3 pushing G1 in RTA and I would like to improve my draft, right? Right now I control cleave, but I don't feel like I have the right units for it. Right. That's a great question, right? That gives us the opportunity to come in and be like, hey, so these are the units you have for control cleave. I think you're right. I think you're lacking this kind of key element, like you're missing control from this element, or you're missing enough. Maybe sometimes it's even rune quality, right?
Yeah. And then then we're equipped with what we need to answer those questions too. But also, oh, Pickle Sharky, you know what? We looked at your Naomi, but it wasn't on screen because it was towards the end of this one.
Yeah, so the answer for your Naomi is don't run any crit, and
rate.
give her more attack HP and speed, because her passive gives her 100 crit when you attack debuffed enemies. You don't need any crit.
Exactly. Yeah, so you can just ditch the rest of the stats. She's very easy to rune. And also, guys, too, with the easier, like the beginner questions too, sometimes it helps to have people tell you a couple times and to give it to you specifically. Like sometimes people have a hard time applying like the general information to their own account. So, you know, sometimes going in and telling people exactly why their Fran or their Lauren or something like that isn't quite working, or why their dot team is failing can help, and it can make it sink in more than just general advice. And that's what these streams are for. Now, with that said, we do also have streams on Friday where sometimes we'll do something like RTA, something a little bit more end game. We'll have guests and stuff like this. And also, today is like one of those rare occasions where we get to have someone as knowledgeable as Tyler on the stream. So having you here to give advice was very awesome, dude. I love hearing your insights.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you right back here, same time, same place. Use command OnceInLuv if you haven't already, or check the description on YouTube. This has been Come to Us, Evan.
OnceInLuv.
See y'all next time. Bye-bye.
Yeah.